New York, one of the 7 most prestigious marathons in the world. Each year, over 55,000 runners take on the 26.2-mile route, which travels through all 5 boroughs of New York City. Along the way, they're cheered on by more than 2 million spectators, which is nearly triple the amount of the London Marathon. The streets shut down, ferries run before sunrise, and America's busiest city transforms into a moving festival the size of a small country. But closing down New York, a city of over 8 million people, is no easy feat. To understand how they do it, we need to talk about the route and road closures, the transport network, how they manage the crowds, the massive security operation, the medical support, the volunteers that power the whole thing, and finally, just how fast they turn New York back to normal. The New York City Marathon is a 5-borough tour. It starts in Staten Island at Fort Wadsworth, before runners cross the enormous Verrazano Narrows Bridge, the biggest climb of the entire race. From there, the course winds through neighbourhoods like Bay Ridge, Williamsburg and Bedford-Stuyvesant, where thousands pack the streets to cheer on the runners. At the halfway point, runners cross the Pulaski Bridge into Queens, before heading up and over the Queensboro Bridge, a silent, eerie stretch with no spectators. Then, it's up First Avenue, briefly into the Bronx, and finally, back down into Manhattan for a dramatic finish in Central Park. To make all this possible, New York goes through massive road closures. The Verrazano Narrows Bridge shuts to all traffic on the upper level from 11 p.m. the night before to allow for preparation, and all non-emergency traffic is prohibited from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the Sunday race day. The bridge normally carries around 200,000 vehicles per day, so shutting it down is a massive deal. What you're seeing now is the road closures for the 2024 marathon, just to give you some perspective on how much of the city is shut down for the event. Most of these roads will aim to open as soon as possible when the final runners pass by. Simply put, without public transport, the New York Marathon can't take place. Even at 6 a.m, thousands of runners queue outside the Staten Island ferry terminal, which runs special early services just for Marathon Day. These ferries, which are completely free, take runners across the harbour to Staten Island. From there, they're loaded onto fleets of MTA shuttle buses, taking them the final miles to the starting area in Fort Wadsworth. Meanwhile, the subway becomes the city's nervous system. It's the only realistic way that spectators can see their runner in multiple locations along the route. Lines through Brooklyn, Queens and Manhattan run earlier and more frequently than normal to move tens of thousands of spectators to the route. Certain stations get so busy that they're temporarily turned into a one-way system to control the flow of people. Many bus routes are diverted, and driving, as you can imagine, is a no-go. Ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft also geofence the area, preventing pick-up and drop-off along the route. As I mentioned earlier, over 2 million people line the streets, making it the largest marathon crowd in the world. To stop early congestion, runners are separated into 3 different start villages, blue, orange and pink, each with their own holding areas. The opening miles use different lanes before merging around mile 8 in Brooklyn. The entire route is lined with fencing and crowd barriers, not just to separate runners and spectators, but to keep emergency lanes clear and to guide people towards safe crossing points. Because the marathon crosses 5 boroughs, multiple contractors installed these barriers, signage and fences over several days leading up to the event. Wayfinding signs, distance markers and event boards are also put up in the days beforehand. To help the crowd navigate, there's also an official TCS New York City Marathon app giving real-time runner tracking, maps and schedules. Crowd scientists model race flow to predict how many runners will hit each segment at a given time, helping organisers plan aid stations and medical posts. The operation is led by the NYPD alongside private security firms and other city agencies. There are police on nearly every block, drones in the air, sniffer dogs, and police boats guarding the harbour. Bag checks are common and large bags are banned around the finish area. There are also plain-clothed police officers embedded in the crowds. After the tragic events of the Boston Marathon bombings, New York City significantly increased surveillance with thousands of cameras covering the course. Evacuation plans and emergency routes are mapped for every segment of the race. Thankfully, these are almost always just precautionary. There are over 1,500 medical personnel supporting the marathon, including doctors, nurses, EMTs and volunteers. Medical tents are placed roughly every mile or two, with major field hospitals near the finish and higher risk areas. Mobile medical teams patrol in fast response cars. Defibrillators are kept at regular intervals and especially in dense spectator zones. Each runner's bib holds essential info for rapid identification. They fill out any medical conditions and emergency contacts so medics have access to that instantly. Thankfully, most issues are minor though: cramps, dehydration and exhaustion. Because the medical layout is so dense, response times are often under a minute. The New York Marathon is powered by volunteers. In total, around 10,000 of them help to run the race. That's everything from handing out water to marshalling crossings, guiding spectators, helping in the start villages, managing medical posts, and handing out medals. There are also sweep teams at the very back supporting slow runners and guiding those who can't continue. The sweep teams are necessary because there is a strict time limit. The course officially closes late evening, and if you fall behind the required pace, you may be asked to board a sweeper vehicle to move safely towards the finish line. You won't get an official time or medal, but you'll be helped home safely. The second the final runners pass by, the cleanup begins. Teams work zone by zone, removing fencing, barriers, signage, rubbish, and leftover supplies. The New York City Department of Sanitation deploys hundreds of staff and vehicles, including street sweepers, garbage trucks, and leaf blowers, to clear what can be hundreds of tons of cups and waste. Most major streets reopen by the evening, and by midnight, New York City is almost back to normal. And with any major event that requires this much planning, the preparation for next year's marathon begins almost immediately.